Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. All right, I am jumping in as current me before this video you're about to watch on our second big push, like kind of part 2 of chopping. But I want to jump in here. So this weekend, November 22nd, is Stanley Martin's female sale. This year it's a lot of more mature cows, and honestly, a lot of really good cows that are in that 5 to 6 year old, maybe 7, 8 year old, but they're in their prime, and some really decent genetics. From my perspective, not only are they good genetics, but the bulls that they're bred to are really good genetics. You have like Pole Synergy, you have was it Fairview Evolution, and then there's a couple other bulls that are really good. Stanley's really last year really picked up his game as far as like what bulls he pulled out of Canada. They are on DVauction, so if you can't make it to the sale, you can log on and bid from the comfort of your couch, which is what I've been doing viewing wise for the last couple years. Check out the link I'm putting in the description, link to the sale catalog from DVauction. You guys can go there, check it out. And yeah, definitely check out the genetics. If you guys are even remotely considering tapping into some full-blood Simmental genetics for a little bit more natural muscle, a little more maternal, a little more natural milk, all that good stuff, definitely check out Stanley's sale. We like what we've gotten from them. We're definitely not disappointed. Factor, I think, has been a great addition, and definitely hoping to go get another bull from him maybe next year. Not 26, but for a new bull in 27. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely check out the link in the description. I know I've been rambling, but stay tuned. The second part of chopping coming up right now. All right, it is Wednesday, and we are going to chop some more corn. So corn 2025 continues. Because we're going to be behind mom and dad's, we're going to start that field up. We want to haul loads with the 29 to get up that hill. We just don't think the 2030 is going to be big enough. All right, here we go. This field is a little greener, but I thought it'd be a little more than it already is. But you can definitely tell it got hit by frost last night. So we've got our first load of the day, finally. Took Dad 3 rounds to fill it. It's definitely full enough. Now I just have to make my slow go back. All right, we're finally going. So I had a hell of a time getting the tractor and wagon close enough to the blower. But what Dad and I have thought about, and he sent me one today for like $325. It's a John Deere blower. It's actually probably a New Holland, but it's one of the round whirlybird types. And I think we might have better access to that style versus having just this plain front open. Because our old Fox blower was the same situation. You'd sometimes run into, like, I just can't get at the right angle, I can't get close enough. Those might be nice, because we could probably take the tractor and actually tip it that way, and then we would still be able to drive in just like this. Also, I haven't looked at the silage yet. Dad said he thought the knives might be getting just a little dull because he can feel it in the engine a little bit. There's definitely moisture there. The kernels panels might not have milk in them, but they're definitely softer. They're not as hard as the other field. So this stuff definitely has more moisture in it than the other stuff. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Starting to get to the point where you're running out of edge. So you just got to be a little more careful. Yeah, we have definitely reached the sketchy part of the program where when you start getting too close to this edge, it was not an issue when we still had all the panels in here. But you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful the closer you get to the edge, the higher you get. Yes, you have to watch, or if you keep packing it, it stays decent. All right, so it's turning out okay. But we are really giving the 2030 a workout. It's been a while, and it's handling it just fine. Temp isn't even getting close to 180. But unfortunately, we got to run the 29 at like 1500 RPM. Because like I mentioned before, high range on here, really slow RPM, is still a little too fast. Plus, I can't get close enough, everything just falls down. So you gotta run low gear, high RPM, and it throws it in there a little nicer. Whatever. Throwing on load number 5 for the day. There's quite a bit of corn up there, and we're already a bigger pile than we were last year, which we should. We had better production on the first field, and this is the 5th load on that other field, so there's quite a bit of silage here. All right, it is Saturday afternoon. This morning, Dad and I went on a little adventure, and we made a small experimental purchase. But it's getting a little interesting for us to pack our pile, so we're going like load, pack, just because you don't have a lot of room up there, the way we have to sneak it in. But to get silage on that pile, you know, if you watch the first part, if you haven't watched the first part, we do it a little bit unconventional. We blow our silage onto a pile, and then we blow it, spread it out, pack it, blow it, spread it out, pack it. But the blower we've always had just a straight flat front. We saw one close for like $300. We got this guy this morning. It's a John Deere 100. Or, as you might say, it's like a New Holland 28 blower. It's 540 PTO, so that's not a problem. But the reason we got it is this rounded front, because we might be able to actually have it pointing off this way and then be able to kind of come around and pull the load so it is able to get closer to the discharge, and then we just back out and take off. That is the hope. We kind of saw this one, the price and everything is just like, you know what, let's give it a whirl and see, you know, obviously, how does it work. We got to get it off the trailer, got to get it greased up and set up, and then away we go. And then we needed more inoculant as well. The downside to that is Dad went to go look at this and was going by Cropping Central. For whatever reason, they had closed a little early yesterday on Friday. But when we picked this up, we stopped at the mill in Athens, which was just 10 minutes up the road. And they had a similar product and a small package for like 100 tons or whatever, which is going to be more than what we need. I have to get done just a little bit early tonight because tonight we also have, we host an annual close family friends Halloween party. So we're doing that tonight. So I want to get done a little bit early to help Bethany finish up and then also get ready for it. All right, so this is what we got for a setup. We actually have the tractor, the 2030, going off a slight angle so that as I'm coming up here, I can actually come in a little bit parallel and then come around it and then pull over so the spout, the discharge on the wagon is over the top of this. This thing does seem to spin pretty easy or pretty free, no noise. This thing is rock solid, which was our first concern, is that if there was a bearing or gearbox or whatnot, that would be a little loose, and it is not at all. This set is a doozy. That is not good for any equipment. So I said it's just the field's reminder that as soon as we're done with silage, we got to get in here and do some kind of tillage, at least to till the ruts up. Still chopping it pretty decent, couple longer leaves, but honestly that's nice, and there's still plenty of moisture here, so we're doing all right. We're gonna get the other box hooked up. Not sure if we're gonna do another load yet tonight because we gotta feed, but we're gonna get this over there. We gotta figure out how much inoculant of the Pioneer stuff we have left. Again, it was our bad, we didn't contact them sooner, but we stopped in Athens and we're using the Co-op's River Max, just their stuff. I think it's a similar product, but I don't know, it'll be fine, it'll get the job done. So this will be the first test of, you know, hoping that this blower is a little bit of an improvement over the last couple styles of blowers we've had. This guy fills in the blower much better. The other thing is I can run the wagon in high range now. I can still run it at really low RPM, but the blower can handle it. A little better? Yeah, that's a little nicer. $300, that's not a bad experiment. All right, that I think was worth it. even Dad was smiling, because he knows, even remembering back to the old Fox blower and then the one we got last year, this style of blower is so much easier just to access. And it does seem like it feeds really good. Just no issues, and it seems to run smooth. So bonus all around. And for the price, like I said, it's a relatively cheap experiment. So decided we want to do with the other one, and yeah, move on. And Dad's gonna very cautiously smooth out that pile. It does get a little sketchy now, and this is probably the biggest pile we've ever had. Also, I did figure out how we're going to mix the Rivermax stuff tomorrow. 2 of those bottles, 100 grams, would fill that water tank and treat 100 ton of feed, 100 ton of silage. Using the Rivermax, that full pack, 200 grams versus 100 grams, would be filling that water tank to treat 100 ton. So I'm looking at it's just the way they mixed it and formulated it, it's like half as potent. Not a big deal because the price is decent. Don't even care. And honestly, yeah, we're gonna top off with the Rivermax stuff tomorrow. I still have 1 load left of the Pioneer, and then probably we'll only have 2 or 3 loads left to chop after that. So we just needed the Rivermax to help us finish up. So thanks to the Athens River Country being open and having that stuff, and honestly being almost on our way home. That was the other benefit, is it was 10 minutes up the road, and I didn't have to cross the highway, which has a lot of construction on it, and it's really busy. I think getting the new blower was totally worth it, and it'll be neat to see it in action again tomorrow. But I got a party to get ready for, and also the Badgers have homecoming tonight. It's Iowa, and they're probably going to lose, but I'm freaking watching because I've barely been able to watch any Badger football. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning. All right, Sunday morning, and got a little slower start, but had our annual like close friends and family Halloween party last night. It's always a good time. Bethany does a great job putting it all together and making tons of really good food. She just absolutely loves her Halloween party, and that's good because she does a really good job. So she is gonna relax today, and it is well deserved. But we are going to chop corn. All right, Dad is off and running chopping. We are gonna head back and grab the 29 and the other wagon. What we're gonna do today though, it's gonna be a little bit slower go, but what we want to do is Dad wants to come back and basically pack all the loads. So the only thing Dad did notice is that the last few rounds is that he's leaving like a little line of silage, and he's not sure if maybe something's like loosening up or he bent something going through those ruts, but I can't really see anything. It's coming from like right behind like the bottom crusher roll or something, like right before the knife. I don't know, it doesn't look like anything's like broken or bent or something that's not supposed to be, but oh well. Dad's gonna do one more lap, and honestly maybe to keep warm I'm gonna follow, so we might be putting some pants on later. If the sun would come out it'd be fine. This is the line we're talking about, just leaving a little, yeah, right here. just a little bit of issue we were plugging as the whirlybird kind of throws it into the spot for the blower. Like the blower will kind of suck the silage and that throws it. So where those two meet, there's one little spot where if you're trying to tease it and slowly push it in there, with this blower that don't work so well. The belt was a little loose, but we got her going. It's still better. This is still a nicer one. All right, while Dad finishes up packing and spreading the pile, which it's starting to get to be a pretty good sized pile. That's the biggest pile we've ever had. I need to mix up our inoculant. Let you watch and cringe at Dad for a little bit. Yeah, this corn really turned out pretty decent. You know, these cobs aren't too shabby. So they're still pretty soft. They don't have a lot of moisture in them, but you know, not too bad. And the height is still really nice. You know, they're not dry enough that the cobs are tipping over or anything like that. So this silage up here, corn, really turned out pretty decent. So, you know, it's a solid cob. Last two rows, pretty nice. So, nice thing for us, the chopping portion of Corn Silage 2025 is done. We're getting a little later in the day than we want, so Dad's actually going to unload those, or at least unload one of them tomorrow, or unload both, I don't know. I think he likes the blower enough that it's just easier. It is. It has, we found really quickly that it's a little nicer setup. Hey, how's it going? All right, Monday afternoon. Oh, he did get them both. So Dad is gonna level the pile, and that is the last silage that we are gonna level out. So he emptied out the full load this morning. Well, he leveled out what was up there this morning. He leveled out, unloaded and leveled out that, and he just got this one. This was like only a row and a half. Like it wasn't even, or a round and a half. It wasn't even 2 full rounds, so. All right, so Dad's gonna finish up here. Just as for like perspective, this edge right here, like this corner, it starts to dive off right here. This is at about 4.5 feet tall. We try to really keep this here. We have a little ramp spot where we drive up and on there. But like where Dad's at right now, that's 6.5 feet. It's probably 7 foot tall. But I do think, and Dad will concur, because he was pretty happy with it yesterday, was getting this blower. I mean, yeah, it's John Deere in name, but it's a it's a New Holland blower. It's a New Holland 28 blower. Couple areas on it are a little rusty, but functionally it is very solid. So we're gonna wrap things up here for today and wrap up the video, but we are done with corn silage. It's all chopped, it's all put on a pile. We'll get that cover on, and in 2 weeks we're gonna have some really nice corn silage. So I hope you guys like the video. Hope you guys like watching us kind of step up our game as far as corn silage goes and getting that chopper dialed in. Do gotta take a quick look at it though, see if there's anything wrong with it, why that stuff's falling off. But hope you guys like the video. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Help us get to our goal of 2,000 subs. And as always, thanks for coming along.